Hi everyone, and welcome to our Ann Barrett Memorial Women of Valor event. I'm Claudia Felsen, and I'm thrilled to serve as this year's event chair. Thank you for joining us for what we hope will be a fun and uplifting hour celebrating all of us, the leaders of our community. As Lions of Judahs and Pomegranates, we proudly show our commitment to being one Jew helping another Jew, whether that be locally or around the world. Our impact is vast. A warm welcome to our Lions from Sacramento Federation. We are so happy that you're with us today. A special thank you to our host committee. We appreciate all the phone calls and conversations in support of today's event. In a few days, Jews everywhere will celebrate Hanukkah, the festival of lights and miracles. This year continues to be challenging in so many ways. Our Federation has been a beacon of light during the pandemic and the wildfire crisis. You should feel so proud that your support has helped Federation fund our partner agencies which serve the most vulnerable. We can't thank you enough for helping to brighten their lives. Kindly welcome Rabbi Stacy Friedman from Congregation Rodef Shalom, who will share a blessing for our community.
A blessing in honor of this special and holy gathering. A blessing in honor of our dear friend, Nancy Grand. And a blessing in honor of each of you gathered here from afar on this momentous and holy occasion. As we know, in just 2 days, we'll be celebrating the festival of Hanukkah, bringing much needed light and joy into our lives and our world and our homes. As we also know, these bright flickering flames do not light themselves. It is the shamash, or the shamus, that lights the rest of the candles, each and every night, 44 candles in all throughout the festival of Hanukkah. It is the shamash, the candle that stands tall and shines not for itself, but to make every other candle shine brightly on its own. Each of you here today is like that shamash, a bright light in this community and a shining force for good for so many. And just as the light of that very first Hanukkah dispelled the darkness of uncertainty and conflict during those days, so too do I pray that the magnificent lights of Hanukkah this year, at this time, will bring with it the miracle of healing, the blessing of light, the promise and hope of a cure, of a vaccine. May the light of these candles ease our souls and lift our spirits. And may the warmth of this holy gathering surround each of us with comfort and inspiration and joy. May each of you be surrounded by light, by goodness, of good health, of peace, and of joy. May you be blessed and surrounded by the holy light of this time. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi, for that beautiful blessing. Thank you to our event chair, Claudia Felsen, and thank you to our host committee. Hi, I'm Joy Sisiski, Chief Philanthropy Officer at the Jewish Community Federation and Endowment Fund. I'm so glad we found a way to be together again this year, but I'm sorry we couldn't do it in person. You know this is my absolute favorite event of the year. The chance we have to amplify the power of women's philanthropy is always uplifting and inspiring, and there's nothing like it, and this year is no different. Today, we honor the legacies of Ann Barrett and Judith Chapman, and today we celebrate the incredible leaders in our midst. Today, we choose happiness even in these dark times. I admit it hasn't been easy for me these past 10 months. Like many of you, I'm working from home at a desk in my bedroom with my 2 little girls who are 7 and 10 in virtual school in the room just next door. They require help with reading and math and social studies and a seemingly endless number of snacks all day. I'm working as hard as ever though, because the needs have never been greater. The Federation has been there since the beginning, and it was easy to jump right in because the Federation has always been here. A special lay COVID task force chaired by John Goldman stepped right in at the beginning of COVID to begin allocating funds to address the emergency and urgent human needs our community faced in March. Job loss meant families struggled to pay the rent. Mandatory stay-at-home orders meant seniors couldn't get the medication they needed, and children who rely on school lunches meals went hungry, and we were right there to provide assistance through our vast network of partnerships with Jewish organizations across the Bay Area. Simultaneously, the Endowment Committee earmarked millions of dollars for emergency relief and raised another $5 million from donor-advised fund holders in recoverable grants to our longtime partner, Hebrew Free Loan, to help community members and Jewish communal service professionals who were laid off meet their basic needs. The Federation has worked tirelessly to help stabilize the infrastructure of our Jewish communal institutions in the Jewish ecosystem through operating support and emergency scholarship grants for day schools and preschools. I hope you are as proud of this work as I am, because it was only possible because of you. When you make an unrestricted gift to the Federation, as you do through your Lion of Judah and Pomegranate gifts, you position the Federation to be able to respond immediately to the needs of our community. Single moms, college students, families, those with special needs, the elderly and the infirm. Rich or poor, our community needs us, and they need you more than ever. The case for giving has never been more clear. No one knows better or cares more about this Federation and the work we do than you. If not you, then who? Women's philanthropy sets the pace for giving in our community. It always has. So we must ask ourselves, what brought us here? Whether it was tradition, Torah, your sense of justice and loving kindness, or a friend dragged you along, you're here now and your community needs you. Your leadership and your financial commitment. Whatever brought you here, we ask ourselves now, what could we do this year for the annual unrestricted campaign? It's your gift that provides much needed social services, that keeps the community resilient, secure, and engaged, and it keeps the lights on to allow us to do this important work. Your gift to the Federation allows the community to meet urgent needs today and ensures that we will be there when the curtain lifts to convene and connect all of those who have been isolated for so long in the community. Making the ask today has never been so easy because we know the needs have never been greater. If you've already made your gift to the Federation's 2021 campaign, thank you. If you haven't, please consider doing that now. And to everyone, I hope you might even consider making a 10% increase. Any new or increased gifts before the end of the year will be matched by a special Human Service Needs Matching Fund through our partner, the Jewish Federations of North America, until the end of the year. What a great opportunity to leverage your gift. When our leaders, when you stretch to increase your gift, others follow. As I said before, women's philanthropy has always set the pace, and today is no different. Please take advantage of the opportunity to make or increase your gift now by using the button at the bottom of your screen or by visiting our website or feeling free to give me and my team a call anytime. I am humbled to offer my gratitude on behalf of those in community who count on you. There is so much to be proud of and so much to be grateful for. Thank you, and happy holidays. I'm delighted now to turn the program over to Sue Diamond, a past recipient of the Judith Chapman Award, who chaired this year's committee and will introduce our recipient, Nancy Grand. Take it away, Sue.
Every year, Federation honors a female role model in our community with the Judith Chapman Women Leadership Award. Like Judith, recipients of this award are outstanding female leaders in our community who go beyond just dedicating their time, energy, and resources to both the Jewish and secular communities. They're also mentors, change agents, and exemplify the importance of tzedakah in their lives. This year's recipient of the award, Nancy Grand, fits that description to a T. Nancy sets an example by her extraordinary generosity, her willingness to work hard no matter the task, and her warmth.
Since arriving from Detroit in 2003, Nancy has taken on numerous leadership positions within the Federation. She has chaired the board and the endowment committee, she has co-chaired the campaign, and she has served as a mentor in the Women in Leadership program. And in addition, she has served on the boards and executive committees of Family House, the JCCSF, and the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee. Nancy's background as a math teacher, Dale Carnegie public speaking instructor, computer software designer, and talented artist serve her very well in her volunteer capacities. For example, she's an inspirational public speaker, and she designed the beautiful artwork that the Federation used for the invitation for this event. I feel so privileged to have become good friends with Nancy through our work together at Family House, the JCCSF, and Federation. And I know her to be a straight shooter who, one, always does her homework and expects everyone else to do the same. Two, has taught me and many others that fundraising can be fun. It's an opportunity to share stories and passions and make new friends. And three, Nancy continues the trend of the wonderful trend of the leaders in our community who are most decidedly not la-di-da. Nancy rolls up her sleeves and dives in deep to tackle the agency's most challenging issues. In sum, her accessibility, candor, empathy, and dedication make her everyone's dream leader. It gives me great pleasure to present this award to Nancy. Mazel tov, and thank you, Nancy.
Happiness, freedom, peace of mind. These three things, it is said that human beings crave more than anything in the world. While happiness, freedom, and peace of mind have been in pretty short supply this last year. They can be attained, however. It takes some commitment, it takes some time, but they can be had. Back in 2003, when Stephen and I moved here, we knew very, very few people, but we had a big list of restaurants. We figured out that the key to a meaningful life was going to have to involve more than fine dining. So I contacted the Federation, and I said literally, put me on any committee, I'll do anything. I want friends, I want connections, I want work, and I want to help. Call it a family, call it a tribe, call it a network. Whatever you call it, whoever you are, you need one. And Federation provided that for me. It also provided the opportunity to find happiness, freedom, and peace of mind. Because the way you attain them is by giving them to others. Your time, your attention, your dollars, communally. And at the end of the worst day of communal work, you can say, what I did today mattered. My actions had meaning and value and purpose. So may I suggest that even if you think you don't have enough time or talent or dollars to help out, don't use it as an excuse, because doing anything is better than doing nothing. There must be one piece of communal work that won't be done unless you do it. There must be one person whose life you can make easier today. And there are places and people all over the globe that could use your time and your talent. And the rewards are there: happiness, freedom, and peace of mind. Now, I am so proud and happy and thrilled to have been given this award for my communal work. And as you've heard, I've been getting the rewards all along. I want to thank Federation for the opportunities. I want to thank Ann Baer and Judith Chapman of Blessed Memories for lighting the way with their dedication and commitment. I'd like to thank all the people with whom I've had the pleasure to work. With you, it doesn't feel like work. I so admire and appreciate you. I want to thank my family for encouraging me to do what I love. And to everyone who's watching, thank you for this honor and for being a partner in repairing the world.
Mazel tov, Nancy. We are so fortunate to have you in our community. We love you so much and we look up to you in so many ways. Thank you so much for letting us honor you. Please welcome Danny Grossman, our Federation CEO, with a special message for Hanukkah, followed by members of our community spreading light and good wishes for the holiday.
It's great to see you all, although of course I wish we could be there in person together. This virtual gathering will just have to do. It's my privilege to be able to kick off these Hanukkah celebrations, and I was particularly asked to conjure a story from my time living abroad. So I flashed to India. I was traveling in the desert state of Rajasthan, visiting the castles, and as Erev Hanukkah approached, I realized I hadn't brought my gear with me. So some of you may know that the Hindus, the Jains, and the Sikhs celebrate a holiday called Diwali. Now get this, and I'm serious, it's called a festival of lights. Diwali celebrates the victory of lightness over dark, of evil, of good over evil, of education over ignorance. It's everything you'd imagine. So I knew that anywhere I went on the street, I would find lights, fireworks, even the odd oil lamp. So I dashed out, I went to a vendor, and the miracle of Hanukkah was reproduced again. 2020 has been a tough year for all of us and really devastating for many. So we're in need of those miracles. We're in need of the kinds of miracles like we heard about last week with the announcement of the vaccine. But you know, until we have those miracles, there's no substitute for kindness, for caring, and for love. And we're going to hold out for that victory of lightness over dark. So let's get it started with these 8 days of Hanukkah. Wishing you all a joyous Hanukkah and a Happy New Year.
Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
I'm wishing everyone Hanukkah filled with light and love.
והיא דופקת בחלון, קרן אור שבויה באפלה. אז אני קם אלה אתמול, לא נרדם בחושך, נעלם. כדור הארץ הוא שלה, כוכבים יאירו לי אותך, כשחושך מסנוור הכל. את לי מגדלו, בתוך השקט הלבד, מחפש אחרי מה שעבד, צריך אותך כדי לזכור, להדליק את האור. אולי תתני לי יום, והשמש תחזור. אני לא יכול יותר לראות, תגידי לי כמה אור, לא מצליח כבר לראות. את התום, את זוהרת כשנגמר לי יום. כדור הארץ הוא שלה, כוכבים יאירו לי אותך, כשחושך מסנוור הכל. את לי מגדלו, בתוך השקט הלבד, מחפש אחרי מה שעבד, צריך אותך כדי לזכור, להדליק את האור. אולי תתני לי יום, והשמש תחזור. אני לא יכול יותר לראות, תגידי לי כמה אור, לא מצליח כבר לראות. אולי תתני לי אור. על הכל לוחש קרוב ומבקש שתעלימי את החושך תני לו לעבור אני לא זוכר איך להדליק את האור אולי תתני לי אור והשמש תחזור אני לא יכול יותר לראות תגידי לי כמה אור לא מצליח כבר לראות אולי תתני לי אור תני לי אור והשמש תחזור אני לא יכול יותר לראות תגידי לי כמה אור לא מצליח כבר לראות אולי תתני לי אור
Please welcome keynote speaker Ray Ringel. Ray is a faculty member at the Georgetown University Institute for Transformational Leadership, where she is the founding director of their certificate program in the art of facilitation and design. Additionally, she is the adjunct faculty at the University of Maryland Robert H. Smith School of Business and an innovator in the areas of coaching, facilitating, and training across sectors. And what could be more beneficial today than focusing on happiness? Welcome, Ray.
Thank you so much, Claudia, and Mazel Tov, Nancy. What a beautiful and authentic presence you have. It was really a delight to hear from you, and your community is so lucky to have you. It's really an honor tonight to talk to you about this topic, just picking up the thread from where Nancy left off, this idea of choosing happiness. And I know that seems like a bizarre concept. How do you choose happiness in times like these? But I assure you that what we go through for the next couple of minutes together here will help us think about new ways and strategies to show up and truly to choose happiness. I want to start off right away by saying that one of the ways that I choose happiness right now is through Federation and through giving to Federation. Federation is the place where I probably park my largest philanthropic gift. And I want to say that at a time that feels so unstable and swirly and out of control, giving philanthropy right now is one of the things that we actually can control. It's something that we can do, we can initiate. And the idea of helping others in a time that is so out of control helps us feel more in control, our ability to extend to others. So I offer that as a way that right off the bat, the act of giving or the act of inviting others to give right now is something that can really ground us and help us feel that joy, no matter what your motivation is for giving, whether it's to help others, right? Whether it's to be a part of something bigger than yourself, whether it's to model something for your family, that we can always find joy when we give to others. So what we're going to focus on tonight is this idea of state of mind and how do we practice or adopt a new state of mind. I just love this picture of the kitty cat who looks in the mirror and sees a lioness, right? State of mind can be understood as our moment-to-moment experience of life as generated by our thinking and as expressed by our feelings. We spend so much time thinking about what are we doing? Right? What do I have to get done? And the lists and moving so fast. I don't think that we spend enough time thinking about who are we being? How are we being? How do we want to show up? It's all about the doing, which I think is really interesting because we're actually called human beings, not human doings. But we might not be spending enough time on the being. The being is totally connected to state of mind. So this idea here takes place, historically, which we're going to talk about, and all over pop culture. Here are some ideas to to throw your way. Certainly from Tolstoy, everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself or herself, right? I love this one by Viola Davis. I believe that the privilege of a lifetime is being who you are, truly being who you are, and I've spent far too long apologizing for that. And we can see all over the place people who are talking about change and how to change yourself and how to work on yourself. And the self-help section of, well, I guess it's not Barnes & Noble anymore. I guess it's Amazon books, right? All this stuff about how do we change ourselves. But it all starts with how do we change our state of mind? And this isn't something that's only anchored in popular culture. This is something that is deeply steeped in our tradition, in our Jewish tradition. The idea of how our thoughts and our perspective and our mindsets can change our reality. So I'll share some of these ideas with you here. Right? These are some that you can read through, and I want to pick up on a couple of them. Happy are those who act justly, who do righteousness or tzedakah at all times. I love this idea. It's very aspirational to think I'm going to do acts of kindness or righteousness at all times. I don't know if that's so realistic, but I think what this is trying to say is this a mindset? Is this a way of being in the world that we are striving to do good and looking for opportunities to do good, right? One of my favorite ones is the one from Shulchan Aruch here, which is a code of Jewish law. And it says, if a person convinces another person to give, their reward is greater than when they give on their own. So as someone who spends a lot of time teaching fundraisers and helping them overcome their fear of asking, this is my secret ammunition. Because it's basically saying, if I give a gift, great. If I ask you for a gift, I get 2 mitzvahs, you get 1, right? I get double the reward. Why is that? You're the one who gave. It's because if I had not asked you, you wouldn't have had the opportunity to give, right? That you wouldn't have known about it, or you would have been involved in other things, that I have offered you the opportunity to perform the mitzvah of tzedakah. I have invited you to have a seat at a table and be a part of this magnificent work, right? That really the only thing that should happen when I ask you is you should thank me for asking. Now, I don't show up at a donor's house and say, hey, you need to thank me for asking, right? I don't say it, but this is my mindset. This is my mindset. Instead of showing up from a spirit of apology, I'm so sorry we have to have this conversation about money, right? I'm operating from a place of abundance, right? A place of an offer, of an invitation, of an extension, and from a place of pride. So if I can shift my mindset to I'm making an offer as opposed to I'm requesting or I'm begging, right? Or I'm making myself small, all of a sudden we create a new reality because we've chosen a new thought habit about this. So Judaism actually provides us a whole new way of looking at things, a whole new mindset. Another piece that I love that actually isn't written here is it says in the Talmud that even the poorest person who makes all of their money by receiving charity from others, they are commanded to give charity in the community. Why? Because they deserve the dignity and honor, like the feeling, the dignified feeling of giving. That's a very powerful state of mind and a totally different way of looking at things. So while there's lots of books about this and choosing happiness and how to get happy, there's lots of direction that we have in our own tradition to help us actually get there. It is all about adopting a new mindset, right? It is about, are we going to be on the receiving end of what this world is going to give us? Or are we going to be more on the offensive line and choosing our destiny, choosing our circumstances, especially now when there's so many circumstances that we can't actually choose? So a big part of my work as a facilitator over the last 9 months has been teaching people how to convert their work from in the room to the virtual space, which, by the way, I think you can do incredibly transformative work in the virtual space. That's a different topic. But the very first thing I say to them is what you are doing now, the work that you are doing now, right? The virtual wedding or memorial that you're doing now, right? It is not going to be the same as you expected it to be. It's not going to be the way that you thought it would be, right? We have to accept that loss. But if you can accept that loss, the next step in the equation is that doesn't mean it has to be worse. It will definitely be different. It will definitely be different, right? It's not going to be the way it was. It doesn't necessarily have to be worse. It will be different. Once you can embrace that it will be different, then all of a sudden a world of opportunity is open to you. The problem is that it's so hard to move through that loss of what it was supposed to be. We can't access that place of creativity and wonder because we can't let go of what it was. That is our biggest barrier to happiness right now, is that we just can't let go of what it was supposed to be. So we are cutting ourselves off from innovative and generative and new thinking about what things could be. This new mindset is the first step in showing up in a new way, and really the first step in inhabiting new thought habits and new thought patterns. So I'm going to walk you through a process right now. It's actually the main coaching tool I use in my leadership coaching practice. That is a tangible tool to help you think about happiness and thought habits in a new way. And it's called the critical thinking path. And this is how it works. It essentially says that we have thoughts. And what are thoughts? It's meaning, it's associations, it's assumptions we make. It's the way we see something and create a story or select data. We have thoughts, they exist. And these thoughts often lead to feelings. Feelings can be defined as state of mind, as emotions, as physical sensations that we have. Those are feelings where we carry our stress or anxiety or even our excitement. Those are the feelings we have. These are things that are invisible, things that live within us. But these thoughts and feelings lead to actions that we take. Those are statements. Those are things that we do, moves that we make, behaviors, or the way we show up physically. And those lead to results, outcomes, achievements, consequences, results, etc. Okay, this is the path. This is the thinking path. So the way you can look at it here is thinking happens all the time. Feelings arise as a result of these thoughts. Those propel us to take actions, right? And those lead to the results. The idea here is that if you're looking for a new result, as human beings, what we do is we tend to try over and over again to change the things that we're doing, right? We change the actions to get a new result. I'll try this. Okay, I'll try this. Or maybe I'll try this. Or maybe I'll try this. And essentially what this model is saying, which is really based on neuroscience, is that if you're just working on this actions result cycle, it's kind of like you have an injury and you're putting a Band-Aid on it, but you haven't really excavated or tried to discover what is the root cause of the injury. A Band-Aid's not going to hold up if there's something deeper underneath that's affected or infected, right? You have to go deeper and look at that cause and try and understand what's really going on and heal the root cause, not just the surface. Go internally to the thoughts and feelings if you want to impact the external piece, which are the actions and the results. So I'm going to take it a step further and take a look at this here. Let's imagine the left side, and I'm going to use my example. I have to because I'm wearing my Lion of Judah and I'm compelled to do this. This is the tool I use, as I said, when I try to help people fall in love with the act of asking people to donate charitable funds. So I start by saying, what's the predominant thought that people have about fundraising? What do you think it is? Right? What's a predominant thought? It's typically, they're going to say no. I can't do this. If I ask them, they're going to ask me. They're asked every year. Or a little bit deeper, I will do anything for your organization, right? I will lick envelopes, but I'm not going to ask people for money, right? Or probably the best I've heard is I would rather chew shards of glass than ask people for money. Fine, I can handle that. Bring it. I'm fine with that. Okay. If that is the predominant thought that people have about asking for money, what are the feelings that come up? Well, you can imagine fear, anxiety, trepidation, some visceral and physical, hives, nausea, etc. Those are the feelings that come up. And if that is your foundation, what is the action that is taken? You got it. Inaction. Avoidance. I like to say those pledge cards go into the Holy of Holies, like in the Beit HaMikdash, and they're so holy you can't even go near them. So it's either inaction or avoidance, or we show up small and we show up apologizing, or we do a quick text instead of having a meaningful conversation. And what's the result? Either there's no result, or the donor walks away feeling not energized, right? Because state of mind and emotion passes. It passes. That's the current chain that people have. So when I'm working with people on this, I say, okay, so let's go to that desired state. What is a new thought that you could have about fundraising? A new thought that's real and that's attainable. So I'll give you a hint. The new thought is not going to be, fundraising is my most favorite thing to do. That's not going to be real. What if the new thought could be, I believe in this product. I could meet someone new. What I'm doing is anchored on hundreds of years of tradition, right? I'm not asking for myself. I'm asking for people who aren't in a position to ask, right? I'm offering someone an opportunity to do good. I'm never going to apologize for that. If that is the new thought that you could get behind, right? What feeling might that lead to? A bit more optimism, a dash of hope. For me, a sense of like deep gratitude that I'm in a position to be able to ask, right? Gratitude and appreciation, all of that is now available to me because I'm thinking about it in a new way. What action does that lead to? Like shoulders back, pride, more energy, more curiosity about the other person, more hope. And what's the result? I promise you, the result is, whether it's a gift or not, that person walks away from you feeling moved, feeling heard, feeling seen, right? Which, by the way, after food and shelter, human beings' greatest desires are to be loved and heard. We can do that. You can do that in this dynamic. So just look at the difference in those two chains. And the key change lever here is the thinking. Right? It is not fake it till you make it. It is think it till you become it. It is speak it till you become it. And this is a very Jewish concept. Speak it till you become it. God created the world in a series of 10 statements, right? Language is generative. We create with our words. So I want you to really consider that, this idea of think it. Keep practicing this thought. And it will become you, right? Keep practicing the thought, keep speaking the thought, and it will become a part of you. There's another concept in Judaism that says na'aseh v'nishma. It's this idea of do it, and it will reveal itself to you, right? So the rabbis say, don't spend a year learning about what it means to keep kosher and all the rules and this and that and have the cheese and the meat. Like, just start doing it. Just start keeping a kosher kitchen. Just start doing it. And once you do it, it will reveal itself to you. Its meaning, its purpose, its intentionality will reveal itself to you. But if you just study it and study it and study it, you're probably never going to do it. Where do you think Nike got their slogan, just do it? They definitely got it from Judaism, right? Just do it and it will reveal itself to you, and the meaning will become integrated into your life. Okay. It's about choosing new thoughts. So I want you to consider this idea of asset-based thinking and deficit-based thinking. If the thought is, that's impossible, it doesn't mean that the new thought is, of course it's possible. If the thought is, that's impossible, how about what is possible, right? What is possible? If it's, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, I can always make a contribution. I always have something that I can offer. This will never work. It's not, this will absolutely work. That's not realistic. How could this work? How might this work? It's just a different way of thinking about it. Okay. And I think one of the most powerful ones here is, I can't do this, is I will do this. Wow. I mean, it's not, I maybe will do this. I will sort of kind of do this, or I will try to do this. I will do this. I will do this. That's powerful to make that kind of declaration. So this idea of, the idea of reframing has sort of gotten the bad hype. Like, let's reframe this. It sounds like psychobabble. It's very real. Our brain is such a powerful engine. And in moments of our lives where we are more physically static, we need to be exercising our brains as much as we can right now. Here's another way to think about it. Some questions, right? To help reframe your thinking. What else is possible here? Where's the opportunity? What matters now? What can I learn? What does my heart say, right? What thought habit would serve me and this situation better? Now, I'm going to be honest. I have these printed on my wall next to my desk. What I'm telling you is not easy when you are in the moment. I can go off the rails from 0 to 180 in a nanosecond. And let's be clear. I know you're all looking at my living room thinking, how does she have such a gorgeous living room? This is a virtual background right now. I like to post aspirational pictures of rooms I would like to live in one day when my 4 children leave this house. There is a green screen behind me with a beautiful projected image, because behind this green screen, yes, there are 4 relatively small children and a impulsive pandemic puppy purchase. Whoever said that was a good idea. There's all sorts of madness going back here in my house, right? I'm someone who constantly, with my workload and my life load, right, have to come back to this. I'm working on this all the time. So it might sound really shiny and lovely right now, but this is work. And this is a choice to choose happiness. We know people who see the world as glass half empty, and we know people who see the world glass half full. We know people who, when you ask where their glass is, they say, I can't tell you because no one ever even gave me a cup of water, right? Just that place of deficit. Where is your cup right now? How full is it? I imagine that it could be at a lower point. I will tell you right now that I have parents who are on this live stream right now who live in your community who I haven't seen in a year, right? A year. Things are hard right now. I am not expecting you to show up with pom-poms. There is a ton of loss. There's big loss and there's micro losses every day. One of my kids went back to school today for the first time in 9 months, right? It is just, and by the way, like, we're not there yet. We think life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We're in an ultra marathon. Like, we've got a ways to go. But the things that we can control actually are the ways that we're seeing these opportunities. I have found that my work, which is usually 100% in the room, I'm seeing that people are showing up on Zoom in a way more vulnerable and more open than ever before. And I don't know if it's because they're isolated and they're in quarantine and they're at home and they want to connect, or I don't know if people are stepping in more and stepping up more because they have this perceived safety of the screen. Like, I have this protective shield here. But here's the irony. I'm looking at you and you're across the country from me, and I'm actually only 5 inches from your face. There is a real intimacy here that can be created in this venue. There are opportunities right now to slow down, to cultivate interests, and really there are huge opportunities to extend ourselves to others, to volunteer, to connect with strangers, and certainly to give. more ways than ever before to do that. What an incredible way to reframe when we're feeling at that deficit, to think about others in our lives who might be feeling even more of that deficit, and to figure out what we can do to help fill their cup, to help shine more light, especially as we are entering like this magical festival of lights. What are we going to do to shine light for others? This is one of my favorite quotes by Thoreau. As a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kind of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives. Think it till you become it, right? Kids think that they're Superwoman, Superman, right? Until they don't. Why do they stop thinking that? Why can't we think of ourselves that way as superheroes, right? Why? We choose the thoughts. And the truth is, the more you practice that thought, the more it becomes a part of you. One last thought I want to leave you with is this beautiful excerpt from Nelson Mandela's inauguration speech. He says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." And that's the last thought I want to leave you with. As we enter the holiday of Hanukkah and we shine those lights in our windows, I want you to think about, how are you going to ignite your own light right now? How are you going to choose a more positive, more grounded, more hopeful state of mind, right? Yawns, sneezes, they are contagious, even in Zoom. Body language, emotion, state of mind, they are also contagious. They are infectious. And I get those are not the most kosher words to use during a pandemic, but I promise you, they are contagious and they pass. So how you show up with your community, with your friends and your family, how you show up will pass. I hope that you use this as an opportunity to really investigate the thoughts that are holding you back and get curious about whether you can change those thought habits to feel more grounded and anchored and shine your light on others. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inspiring us, Ray, and for giving us some tools to make it through these tough times. It is so important to embrace happiness. I've had the privilege of listening to you before, and I've been mesmerized once again by your wisdom and your warmth. Thank you so much. And speaking of happiness, here's something super sweet to fill you up and get you ready for Hanukkah.
Misha Nudler was born in Poland on October 18, 1927. She is a survivor of the Holocaust. Her father, Gitman Olzak, and mother, Edith Weisberg, both perished in Treblinka in 1943. Misha and her sister were hidden in the Polish ghettos for a year and a half, and subsequently escaped to a farm where a righteous Gentile farmer hid them, saving their lives. Misha has written a book called My Life, documenting the horrors of her time there and the eventual journey to America in 1949, where she began a new life with her husband Harold. They began a family and had 2 children, Harry and Judy. Misha and her family were members of Temple Beth Abraham in Oakland for over 50 years and was active in sisterhood and president at the Oakland Hadassah chapter for many years. Misha has been at the Rutlinger community for 3 years now and enjoys her time reading, playing cards, and socializing. Her recipe for latkes is a family favorite, and as she used to make them annually for Hanukkah every year. Her secret ingredient is love, along with grated potatoes soaked in lemon water as to not turn the potatoes brown, grated onion, 2 eggs beaten, salt and pepper, and then fried to perfection in grapeseed oil. Delicious. Thank you, Misha, for your story and your recipe.
Happy Hanukkah. Be the light.
Sending our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you, and happy holiday wishes from your development team. Happy Hanukkah!
Hi, everyone. Wishing you and your family love, light, connection, and above all, good health at this time of year and always. Happy Hanukkah from our home to yours.
This is Jan Newman. I want to wish everybody a very happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody. The darkness of the whole world cannot swallow the glowing of our candles.
Wishing everyone a very happy Hanukkah.
May the light of Hanukkah shine upon you. Chag Sameach.
This is Marianne from Oakland, wishing everyone a Chag Hanukkah Sameach.
Happy Hanukkah, with the light of a Hanukkah that I bought in Israel with Anne.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone. My name is Isaac Zones. This is my lovely partner Vivian and our beautiful son Moises. We're going to sing a song for you today called Ocho Candelicas by Flori Jagoda. It's a song written in Ladino, the Sephardic Jewish language that my grandfather grew up speaking when his family moved from Monastery. So here we go. Let's try a little bit of clapping if you can.
Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, beautiful Hanukkah is here. 8 candelas para mí. Whoa! Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer, con alegrías y placer.
A lot of parties to go to.
Muchas fiestas voy a hacer with happiness and pleasure, con alegrías y placer. Whoa! Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí.
One more verse.
Los pastelicos voy a comer, the pastries we get to eat, con almendricas y la miel, with almonds and honey. Los pastelicos voy a comer, con almendricas y la miel. Whoa!
One more time.
Whoa! Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí.
Happy Hanukkah. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Isaac Zones and family, for that truly beautiful and uplifting Hanukkah song. And Isaac, Mazel Tov on being a recipient of the Helen Diller Family Educator Award for 2020. Great job. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and especially thank you for your leadership and your dedication to our community. It was really great to gather here together virtually, and next year I really hope, God willing, we'll be able to join together in person and give each other a nice big warm embrace. But until then, enjoy being with your families and those that you love. Stay safe and have the best Hanukkah you can. Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy Hanukkah from generation to generation. Congratulations, Nancy Graham.
Woohoo! Happy. Love to see you.
Hi, everybody. Here's to Happy Hanukkah and stay well and be safe. And we look forward to the time when we can all be celebrated together in the same room. Take care to all of you.
Happy Hanukkah.
May the light in each of us kindle the light in each other. Happy Hanukkah.